And for motivation this morning, Oluwatobi Ali, a powerhouse in business and personal transformation. He is an international award-winning capacity development trainer and a revolutionary speaker and destiny codes coach. He equips leaders to unlock their full potential with a track record of innovation, impact. Today on Motivation, we're talking about business being war. And we have Dr. Oladipo Kolawole, an esteemed, distinguished infectious diseases expert and innovator. He specializes in infectious diseases caused by viruses and antimicrobial resistance. He is an international fellow of the Indian Council of Medical Research, African Union, STRC, and an experienced science entrepreneur. He joins us on SMA to talk about his company, Helix Biogen.
Hi.
Yeah, good
How
morning.
you
How far?
doing?
How was your weekend?
Busy, very busy. Too busy for my liking. Of course, there's work because I was on radio yesterday evening. Besides that, I had a lot to do because, you know, not lacking health and all that. So there's always something to do. I need a break, actually. At least 1 year off.
Okay. For me, yeah, there's something I wanted to mention. There's this video of the Senate president, which is trending.
Okay.
Where he made some very, very...
where you see food, chop.
Yeah. And I don't know. It really rubs up very, very wrongly. I would quite say, I mean, there's a little bit of disappointment. It's called the Hallowed Chambers for a reason, yeah? That video has been trending. I mean, people have been talking about it all over weekend. And making fun or making light of situations of things as they are, I don't think is the best thing to do, you know, in that kind of way. And this is not the first time. There's a precedent of the Senate president making this sort of remarks. And I feel it's unbecoming of someone of that status or of that capacity and that office to make such remarks. So the whole video was trending the whole of the weekend, and people were talking about it and all that. And I feel like there should be a bit more when it comes to understanding the situation of things now. And of course,
the key word is empathy. Yeah, the key word is empathy, no matter how you look at it. And there's just so much going on for and to Nigerians right now that the least they can have is at least kind words. Like, you know what? We need to check out the weather right now, okay? Wake Up Nigeria continues right after.
On Wake Up Nigeria, my name is Mike Messikeno. It appears the last is yet to be heard in the leadership tussle facing the People's Democratic Party. Factional acting chairman of the party, Yayari Mohammed, says he has assumed his position as leader of the party. In a statement, Mr. Mohammed says the party has failed to live up to expectation as the main opposition party. He assured that the party under his leadership will act within the confines of a rule of law and constitution of the party. The factional chairman mentioned that his assignment is to restore confidence of party members by immediately commencing the process to hold a National Executive Committee meeting already scheduled for the 24th of October. You'll recall that a faction of the party suspended the acting chairman, Elias Damagun, just as another faction announced the suspension of the publicity secretary and legal advisor of the party. Now, more than 60 persons have been injured in a drone strike targeting the Beni Yamina region of northern Israel. In a statement, Volunteer Emergency Response Organization said some of the victims were severely wounded. Hezbollah has claimed responsibility for the attack, which is said targeted a training camp of Israeli Defense Forces. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asked the United Nations to move peacekeepers deployed to South Lebanon out of harm's way. The Prime Minister insists the peacekeepers were used as human shields by Hezbollah. A 5th UN interim force in Lebanon was wounded by gunfire on Saturday. And let's take a look at some sporting stories. A grassroots-based national football competition concluded its finals in Abuja on Saturday, showcasing some of Nigeria's emerging talents. A special guest at the arena, the Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Sports, Senator Ned Nwoko, revealed the Senate's stand on sports development. Correspondent Jane Francis Mweze tells us more.
The finals of the 6th edition of a private National Football League saw Wireless FC emerge as champions. The league has provided a platform for young players to hone their skills, gain exposure, and potentially rise to professional levels.
It's basically an environment for undiscovered players to be seen. And I mean, the Super Eagles cannot have everyone, so it's also like an archery where we can develop as many talents as possible.
The Presidential Premier League is a game changer for Nigerian football because we don't always focus on these 5-a-side games. These are games that breed Nigerian players because you're able to play in an aside game, you play better when you get on the pitch of play. So it has been a game changer for us, and we are happy to experience the regional finals.
I think the organizers have really done well. They have done great job.
The finals drew various football fans who cheered on their favorite teams. Among the special guests is the Vice Chairman of the Senate Committee on Sports, Ned Nwoko, who performed the ceremonial kickoff. He identified funding as a major challenge for Nigerian sports.
The preparation. You know, why is it that in Nigeria we wait until 2 months to Olympics to make available 15 billion? For what? Taking a position. But we don't have to wait until a month or 2 months to any sports competition to start making money available. With long-term, consistent funding.
The league is played across 6 geopolitical zones, and the national finals are played at a designated center.
Bringing all of these things together, coming from one region to the other, the logistics is intense, and you know, it is only passion that has been pushing us and pushing the project. So, but we are not giving up. We are continuing with the whole intensity, and that's why we are in the 6th season, and we are not stopping here. We are hoping that gradually we are able to take it to the next level and go to more regions in Nigeria.
The 6th season concludes, and all attention turns to the next edition. These various grassroots competitions continue to play a vital role in shaping Nigeria's football future. Jane Francis Mweze, TVC News, Abuja.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria arrived in Libya last night ahead of their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match day 4, tie against the Mediterranean Knights. Libyan authorities held the team officials hostage at the Al-Abak airport in Al-Abak. Nigeria secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Libya at the GOTV International Stadium in Uyo on Friday. The Super Eagles faced the same opponent in Benin on Tuesday. And the update on the Super Eagles, Victor Boniface just dropped a tweet saying that they've been there for almost 13 hours without food, without access to internet, and hostility from the Libyan government and Libyan authorities. Hopefully something is done and CAF steps into the matter and we have a resolution of the imbroglio that is surrounding the national team of Nigeria. Now that's it on sports and news for now. We'll take a time out. Stay with us. We'll be back in a bit.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
The time has come to experience the power of faith, music, and praise. This is the Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m., tune in to catch the pulse-pounding beats and soul-stirring melodies that will elevate your faith and leave a lasting impact on your heart. The Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m. exclusively on Max FM, where we count down the best 20 urban gospel hits from around the world. Get your praise on.
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
Bring you the morning vibe.
Yeah.
Good morning, Titi.
Good morning. How you doing? You know, a number of things have been trending over the weekend. It was actually quite difficult to pick from the potpourri of suggestions as to what we should talk about today. However, this morning, we're going to start off with the robot maid. I wonder if you know about the robot maid. Like, have you heard about it? So basically, a robot has been created to cost between $20,000 to $30,000.
Small money, small money.
I can imagine so many people doing the calculation in their head
small money
now. And it's supposed to help you with your chores.
Yeah.
So, and not just your chores, it will also help babysit.
Yes.
Now, the question this morning is, I would really like to have your feedback, hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, is, would you let a robot babysit your child? That's the big question this morning.
I feel like, you know, the future is already here. I feel like it's an eventuality. It's something that's gonna happen. How soon we let it happen is now the same way people didn't trust credit cards or debit cards because they're like...
People still don't.
Some people still don't. So there's some people that still don't understand why they should have a cell phone with them that has a flat screen, why they shouldn't have buttons on their phone. We're advancing little by little, and this is a major leap forward. A robot doing things for us. A lot of machines in factories are already doing things that human beings were doing.
Yeah.
You know, filling up cartons and sellotaping things and sanitizing things. So eventually it's probably going to happen, Mary. I think we just need to get with the program.
I wonder
It's
what
a bit
Mike
where
thinks.
when someone thinks about it, the iRobot is a bit scary.
Yeah.
Because you're going past its handling duties. You're going past it. You're now going to the point of interaction with human life.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very scary proposition, depending on how it is to be handled. Are we going to accept it? I don't know. Mark Zuckerberg came up with the metaverse. It didn't catch on as much as it was expected to catch on, even though we still think that moving forward it might catch on. But there was a lot of investment into it, and people didn't just buy the idea of the virtual headset and key into it.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes when some innovations are keyed into fully. What did Elon Musk do? There was a self-driving car that now doesn't have a pedal. And it's that time, if you take your Tesla, you still have
a pedal.
Some kind of control.
You still have the option between automated driving and this one, so you can switch. But now there is no pedal, there is no
steering wheel.
Wow. And then
Jesus
you release
take the wheel.
another. There's another bus-like that can take 20 people.
Yeah.
That one also without
automatic.
system. At the same time, he launched a rocket, SpaceX. That one went and it was a successful deployment.
Also
and
trended.
everything.
What was even cool about that rocket was that the booster, which usually you see in the movies, it just falls off by the side and goes into the atmosphere. For somehow, by some miracle of engineering, they were able to get that booster back into its place, into the place where it started off from. I don't know whether it was magnets. I don't know whether it has its own guidance
it's easy
system.
To do. It's just almost like people are talking about debris in space and how you should take care of it. It's something that if they have thought about, they can do it. And that deployment was successful. My point is, are people going to, for now, people of our age who are a little bit older, we've seen iRobots. In fact, the movie started trending again. The movie iRobot and all of that. And it's all going to be coordinated by AI. And this thing you're talking about is continuous learning. How far can they go before they start infringing into what we can do?
Good. I'm so glad you mentioned that. But even before talking about the infringing part, I want to be very hands-on on this particular matter because it's good enough to have, a robot that does the chores for you, keeping in mind that it can leave the gas on. I'm just saying. Now, that's one. Two, just imagine a robot carrying your child. And then suddenly the battery gets weak and then the baby drops.
Come on now.
See, I like looking at every angle. Or a robot tapping your baby to sleep and then all of a sudden, because it's malfunctioning.
So where I thought you were going to go was a baby feeling more comfortable with the robot.
So there's actually a cartoon.
To sleep.
I'm trying to remember
That was where
the
I
name
thought
now.
you were going because there's a generation of kids that are more comfortable on their phones right now than having human interaction. What's to say that these babies don't grow up falling in love with this
the
tech?
robots, wow.
That's where I was. That's where I was going.
Away.
So it's a case of thinking of what the possibilities are for the paraplegic, for instance, the people that have disabilities. So this is really good for people living with disabilities.
I agree.
The elderly that cannot go to the store and come back on their own.
So it can run errands.
Yes, it can. People that can't go up and down the stairs. You know, I think it is a good advancement, but what we're using it for needs to really be monitored. And what's the term? Is it government? There should be a lot of policies and rules around how.
That's the thing I've always had with technology. There's always that thing of, oh, technology helps us a lot.
Yeah.
It relieves us. However, I've always believed that technology that is not monitored will end up becoming a problem. And that's why I wanted to touch on the infringement Mike was talking about. The reality is this. Everything in life, Yorubas will say, "Womba," you have to use it wisely and at the barest minimum if possible. People tend to abuse the toys they have because this is a toy, really. People tend to abuse it. At the end of the day, you would end up getting the bad side of it. And let's remember, robots also have this thing of they know who is kind to them and who isn't. And someday,
Mary,
you
I can't believe you went there
for it.
So are you saying that, okay, you're talking about robots' revenge now. I think that's a bit too far for I think that's a bit too far.
I think, I would say, first of all, it's going to go, even if you go up on, you go take before you even try. Electric cars.
Well, Tesla don't they blow when rain fall?
I've not even started using the electric cars here. There's a lot that Africa still has to do. It's a long way to happen, but I would dare say that it will be harder for our generation to pick up to it. Let's see what the next, this is the next generation kind of thing. I would not want to leave a robot with a child. I would not.
No matter what.
I would not. And because like you said, just as much as with every other thing, there is a susceptibility of malfunction. There's a susceptibility. There are many things that could happen. So that's why you would want supervision, and then it comes supervision. Even if you are watching it, let's say you're watching on your phone what this robot is doing, how fast can you get back there if there is an issue? So
well, Mary, don't we have issues with normal house helps anyway?
Yes, we do, but they are
we have issues with, that's what I'm saying. So if, for instance, a robot is getting rid of the, in quote, human error of things, the pilfering, taking your food and taking your property, or, you know, there are so many errors. You hear of maids leaving the iron on and then a child goes to touch it. All those kinds, those are the kind of things that a robot wouldn't do.
Those are the kind of things a robot could do.
Who said they can?
I'm just saying, technology has actually taking care of a lot of issues of human error. It's taken away the human error factor and made a lot of companies and factories, manufacturing industries more efficient.
Okay, so maybe I'm this way, because there's this cartoon, I don't know if you've seen it, where a robot takes care of a baby. There's actually a cartoon. In fact, I thought the cartoon inspired the iRobot. This particular robot. So this robot goes through a lot to take care of the child. Runs around, chasing the child down. But guess what? When like a rat or something enters its body, it can disconnect something or destroy something. And so sometimes the child is in danger and some kind of organism has gotten into it and it cannot help itself and it's just standing there. These things happen. It's a robot. Yes, there's human error. Let's be realistic. Many of these employed staff, they are some kind of way. And then there are those that maltreat your child, or those that, yes, as you said, pilfer stuff, or even do crazy things. However, I would sooner resign and take care of my children than offer them up to the altar of a robot.
I thought you were going to go. I don't know why I'm just assuming where Mary is going to go with. So
trying to be futuristic, the same robot you're talking about can be hacked the same way your phone is hacked. So
look at the baby rockers, for instance. Look at those baby rocker chairs. When we had rocker chairs, now you had to actually use your hand to rock the chair. Then suddenly there's one that you start it and then it will continue rocking by itself. Now there's one that does like this. The baby is inside. Is that not a robot?
It is a robot that if you remove one battery, it's normal. See, a robot will not have accessible batteries.
How is that
wait, I want to. No, let me.
If the baby cries, it will activate again.
By the definition of a robot, doesn't have intelligence. It can't make decisions by itself.
It makes decisions whenever the baby cries.
That's not a.
That's what I'm saying.
My point is that as much as you want to talk about it, even if you want to talk about even error, and if you want to look about it, the robots are even more susceptible to error. The same way your phones have been hacked by people. People can do so. That one is not even.
Even those rockers, they have errors too.
Well,
they malfunction.
You never know.
Anything that has to do with children, one has to be really careful.
Of course.
If I get such a robot in future, because you know, never say never.
Never say never.
The truth is, the duties I will impute will be very, very direct. Like, put it there. Don't touch this child. You are not allowed. Don't touch the gas. You are not allowed. Kumalo malfunction. Oh
my God.
Don't do this. Don't do that.
By the time that robot, if it ever comes close to you, by that time you cannot give birth to another child.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
There will be machines giving birth to children.
But boy, rude gone. Exactly. We'll get a robot for that. Let's take a break.
Yeah, a robot to give birth. Yes.
your day from the bedside.
Bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you sing your day one step at a time.
On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back to back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment. Only on Max Hits.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the shop. You need to award really waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a Max.
Late nights on Max FM is where we help you connect the dots and put you in that place where you are ready to do it right.
We are dishing out the top hits of the week, counting down the biggest songs on your radio.
Let's go.
Right now.
On Max Sports, we bring to you sporting events happening all around the world.
It's not just sports, it's entertainment.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Sheen. Let's go!
We are your go-to for hit music, entertainment, and top-notch radio all day, every day. 102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Welcome back. Let's take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. We have Mike Messikeno here on this with me.
Yep.
Let's start with the Nation newspaper, shall we?
Yep.
Major headline, PDP crisis. Factional chairman defies court order, resumes. Yes, okay. It also says, I have started preparation for October 24th NEC meeting. Party is gone, says Fayoshe. Now, the story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 2. It also says here, 34 fighter jets coming to join terrorism battle. Arrival begins Q1 next year. Train crushes man, 50 to death in Lagos. Page 8 has more on that. Troops destroy another 37 illegal refineries. And right at the top, it says here, Sanwo-Olu is the first passenger as Red Rail line rolls off. Page 7 has more on that. We're seeing massive demand, investment in CNG, and the NDLEA intercepts 22.7 billion naira worth of drugs in Lagos and Rivers State. That's what we have on the cover of the Nation.
All right, let me just check out the Punch. Nothing stands out for me from the Nation. Import duty, FG may ground 60 private jets today. Oh, top bank chairman, business moguls affected. NAMA gets list of affected planes. That's quite something, yeah. And FG Italy finalized talks on 34 new fighter jets. Okay, that is quite something. The picture story here, I think, should be of the one people that have private jets, because the way it's looking. So they're coming out of a jet because there's no description there on the picture story. I'm trying to, okay. Photos of Kotsi, Nigeria Air Force. That's Kotsi NAF.
Yes.
So yes, that's it. Concerning the fighter jets, I guess that's what this is all about. Cooking gas price jumps to 1,500 per kg. How far? 1.5. Okay, so that's if you are doing 5 kg, 5 kg is 7.5.
7.5.
6 kg would be 9. 6 kg would be 9, of course. That's quite something. That's quite something, you know.
It is.
That's quite something. NDLEA nabs Thailand returning with 3 billion naira drugs. Whoa. That's a lot.
Interesting.
That's a lot. How many people want to eat or take that kind of drug? You want to kill somebody. Obaseki Okpebolo's transition panels discuss handover today. Above the flag or beside the flag of the paper, God never planned suffering for Nigerians. Obasanjo. Oh.
And
if only he was the president. Dangote meets marketers Tuesday over new petrol price. This price, okay. Well, you know, we're always talking about the economics behind the price, and if you are going to buy crude, now the stock that a number of the crude that being used to petrol was bought in dollars.
Yeah, sure.
And which is why now the crude is going to be sold in naira. I don't know why it was even ever bought in dollars. How do you strengthen the naira? I'm trying to see how the landing cost will be out. That's the landing cost of when you import and the jobs and all of that. The transportation cost will be out.
It's reduced. I don't know.
Is
it all the way out?
Importing. I mean, we are talking about whether now when I say
from Lagos to the destination in Nigeria.
That one was normal. That was normal. I'm talking about when you're importing. I mean, over the sea, that transportation cost is out. So whether you're getting from here or not, that part of moving the trailers is a constant. Now they're moving from Lekki, it's about 2-hour drive into mainland Lagos, and then of course into other parts, which is why it's so, you know, I'm trying to look at the economics. If it's sold in naira, we are the ones producing the oil. It's being sold in naira, and it's being sold back to us. I'm trying to see how it makes sense that it is higher than how it was, even if there is no subsidy, you know. So let us wait until we hear the verdict, the deliberations from that particular meeting, and then we know what's happening. Benin and Togo owe Nigeria $5.7 million electricity debt. Wow. Did they owe us?
Interesting.
Wow. But I heard that those people have more lights than us, and now they give them. Benin and Togo. Okay. PDP crisis, Damago camp, anti-Wike governors may clash today. And I would say that a democracy is vibrant when there is a strong opposition. It is part of democracy. It is why, and it's sad that there is no opposition, you know, that the opposition find themselves in this. That's why it's democracy. That's why it's democracy. So hope this has gone on too long, and why the PDP, of course, at the moment are incapacitated to a large extent. We saw what's been happening in Rivers State. That is funny, and you know, there's just a lot. You cannot be. Governance should be the point. I mean, how many years now? It's getting to 2 years now of the government, and they've spent more time fighting amongst themselves, trying to secure ground, as it were, rather than govern. So.
Seems like I've lost the battery on my device here, Mike. It's all yours.
They tell you, say, maybe battery not charger. No, you have your charger.
Wow, Mike.
Let's head to Tribune here. This is still the PDP crisis. Why Damagum should go, Bode George. And PDP blast Fubara says he rejected offer to control Rivers structure. What are your thoughts on the whole River State imbroglio, as it were? I don't know if I've used that word twice now.
It's,
you know.
So there are more questions than answers at this point.
No, I think
and it's just definitely something that we're going to be watching and monitoring because, you know what, I'm going to leave that particular topic for now, because I know that there was another one you were focused on.
Yeah, there's something here. Titi left it. All right, Nigerians go for lower quality goods as inflation and devaluation fuel prices escalate cost of living.
Now that was it.
Companies record high values but low volume of sales. So the point is, substandard
quality
goods.
So
I mean, people are going for substandard products.
Exactly.
Because they're trying to meet their margin when it comes to profit. And it's, you know, people are doing quite a lot. They are cutting a lot of corners. And it's all down to the quality of what is.
And some people might feel like they're not affected by this, even if they can afford to buy. Let's just even think of something like that's luxury, like celebratory cakes, for instance. These bakers, the ingredients they add to cakes, the quality of the butter, the quality of the sugar, the standard of products they were using to put these things together is gradually reducing. Even the biscuits and snacks you give to your kids to take to school, the quality and the size and quantity is gradually reducing.
That one, even before now, you don't take.
You just notice.
No biscuits, you know, they buy biscuits last year, and this year it maintains standard. I mean, we talk about how the quality of everything reduces as time goes on, even before now. How much more in such times as, like you mentioned, people into production of bread. They need sugar.
Of course.
You know, all these things, a bag of sugar is how much now? I know that over the past 1 year, it has increased astronomically. Because a friend of mine also is involved in production of coconut chips. And sugar is one major ingredient that they use, and it's been something else. The price has just been going and going. Then you talk about flour for bread.
Sure.
And because of that, people are putting in things. There's bromate now into bread, saccharin,
all sorts of
sugar.
Sweeteners, yes, saccharin
instead of sugar. And you know, and
I even heard of some bakeries
gluten,
that if they don't sell off bread, I've heard that they mill the bread that they've baked and mix it with a bit of fresh flour to make fresh bread. There is some kind of process where old loaves of bread are being blended, or let's say milled down to flakes and mixed with new flour and rebaked. Wow. You know, so where we are now, and then look at the price of eggs. How many eggs? There was a time you could find a whole egg inside a moi moi wrap.
No,
that time has passed.
You know, one very popular dish in the egg. I bet you. It is a very popular fast food, by the way. The egg on top, right, is like the moi moi. It's like if you put one pot of moi moi, they use one egg. Why? Because it's
they slice
the size of the they use one egg for one pot of moi moi. And they cut it by that. So the egg white.
And there's speculation that the price of crates of eggs is going up to 10,000 naira.
Egg is about the cheapest protein that we can get here.
It's not the cheapest anymore, man.
Which one is cheaper than egg?
It's pomo now. Pomo
is not protein, Titi.
Pomo is shad. No. Pomo is shad, that item on top of the food. I'm just saying.
Pomo is not protein. This is the problem in Nigeria. We should be exporting pomo and be making money.
Leather bags.
But you and other people are eating our food. Pomo is not protein, Titi.
Well, hey, in terms of cost and price right now, a lot of people are going to be taking eggs off the list. I'm thinking of starting the poultry. Will you partner with me?
Poultry?
Let's start the poultry.
What poultry?
Eggs. We can get eggs. Let's go and sell. All right, then, guys, let's hear your comments and thoughts on some of the headlines this morning. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know. We're taking a quick break. We'll be back after this.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
It's downright time to speak with the Gen Z perspective.
Hey, chick comedy, they were like, this is Sharma, this is Sharma.
Saying it not the way they want it.
Outrightly, I don't think I would budget more than 25K for a first date.
The Generation Z are ranting.
I'm serious. I was 2 minutes after the
Minus 20 here, please.
Don't show me. I don't want to. That's why they'll keep saying.
Gen Z, express yourself.
How long will it take for you to kiss then, even if it's not a sexual intercourse?
The conversation just got Gen Z'd.
Do it now. Do it to it. Do it. Do it.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
The boxing arena. Muhammad Ali retired from boxing in 1981 and focused on his religion, philanthropy, and activism. In 1984, he made public his diagnosis of Parkinson's syndrome, which some reports attributed to boxing-related injuries, though he and his specialist physicians disputed this. He remained an active public figure globally, but in his later years made fewer public appearances as his condition worsened and he was cared for by his family. Ali was chosen to light the Olympic flame at the start of the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. He died on June 3rd, 2016.
All right, are you all welcome to the kitchen this beautiful Monday morning? It's time for us to make breakfast for champions like you. Okay, I wish you could have a taste though. However, Chef All Black has us covered this morning for breakfast. It's so good to have you in the studio with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's talk about the ingredients. Before we talk about that though, what are you making? What are we calling this?
We're just making a normal Nigerian
breakfast.
Nigerian breakfast.
Yeah.
Aha. So Nigerian breakfast. Okay, let's see what this is made of.
Okay.
Okay. So.
So we have the bread, we have eggs,
Okay.
and we have sardine. Just to have a normal something to take in when you're going in your day.
Okay.
So basically, most people do not understand.
This is vegetable oil, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then a bit of seasoning cube.
Seasoning cube,
Okay.
yeah. So basically, most people do not know understand the fact that breakfast is actually very, very important in your day.
Absolutely.
And bread, definitely, fiber. It's good for your health and definitely helps you in your day. So with this, you are good to go, and you might not even remember to have lunch.
So, you know, you started with a Nigerian breakfast. But a Nigerian breakfast today, let's remove these ones. And then we'll take half of this out. Okay. Because I can imagine someone watching now saying a typical Nigerian breakfast in your middle of jelly. But really, let's get started. What's the process like?
So what we just need to do is get our eggs ready and add our sardine inside so that it speeds up the process and we fry. And definitely you can have it with your bread, either plain or toasted.
Okay, so we'll do plain and toasted because I like to experiment. Definitely. But if I want to check out some of your meals and all, I'm sure I can check your Instagram.
Definitely.
Can you tell me your Instagram?
At Chef Black.
At Chef Black. Just one word like that, at Chef Black. Nice, okay. So let's start off with the process. What's the first thing you're doing?
So we mix our eggs together.
Okay, so let's do that. We skin the eggs together. This is going to be really easy. Regular Nigerian breakfast. Almost everybody knows how to, put this together and get ready to get on the road for your grind. Okay. I've never done that with seasoning cube before. I've learned so many things in this kitchen. So you break it using... The one I actually did for a long time was just throwing the seasoning cube into your meal and then allowing it to dissolve itself.
Most of those seasoning cubes might not dissolve, and you end up having an egg that is having salt or...
Yeah, I think you're about to have such too, because I'm seeing one. There's a particular chunk. You see it soon, don't worry. Whoever gets it will be all right. But really, okay. All right, and then we put in the sardines. Okay. So, normally I wouldn't do this, but then of course there are different processes.
Exactly.
I'll fry my eggs, then put in the sardines separately. So it's dependent on your preference. However, this could also be a way you've never thought of, because that's one thing I realized about being in the kitchen in Wake Up Nigeria is the process you've never thought of is what somebody might do in the kitchen, and it might just make you feel like, why haven't I done it this way? So if you've never tried it this way, it might be a good, if not better way to have your eggs and sardine. All right? Okay. So what are you doing? Are you going to make fried egg with bread, or you're going to toast the bread as well, or we are doing all of it?
We're doing everything.
We're doing everything. Okay. So this is the vegetable oil. So we're going to fry. Right? Which one are we doing first? Frying the eggs. Okay. There you go. Is that oil enough?
Yeah, it's okay.
But some people like their eggs to be really... Then I like the fact that this breakfast is relatable, because the reality is, at the moment, most people are doing without things like pepper, tomatoes, because they're quite pricey, aren't they? So this is something you can actually do, and it will still taste really nice. So we're going to scramble the eggs, or how are we making the eggs? Scrambled or just regular?
Anyway, that is actually making sense for us.
What did you say?
Anyway.
Anyway, okay. Yeah. So he's
he's
basically doing street style food today. So you could have your own preference featuring on Chef Black's menu today, okay? So he's doing all kinds this morning, like all kinds of styles, so to speak. So we'll do fried bread, we'll do plain bread, we're going to fry the eggs as well. We'll also scramble maybe some of them. Let's see how this pans out eventually. So the oil, is it hot enough?
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, just a little more. Now, there are other things you can do to create this Nigerian breakfast.
Definitely.
Especially the way Nigerians like it. What are the other things you could put into it?
Apart from the normal veggies that you can actually have, basically a lot of people still like other things. Some people like sunny side eggs. You don't necessarily need to, we want to avoid oil.
Okay.
Definitely mix sunny side
Yeah.
to go with the bread. And you can actually just have a club sandwich. You can get vegetables like lettuce and tomatoes and filling into your bread. And you enjoy your day like that as well too.
Ah. Now, many Nigerians don't like sunny side.
Definitely because of the yolk.
Because of the yolk. However, there are other ways to make sunny side. For those of us, there's the Nigerian, you know, we are talking about the Nigerian type now.
Yeah.
There's the Nigerian way of making it.
I flip the egg over. If the person does not like the yolk, you can flip it over.
Yeah.
Some other, if you put much pressure on the eggs and make it stay a bit longer, it gets done. So those are just like the two basic ways that you can actually get it done.
As a Nigerian, we don't eat raw food. Maybe that's why we are healthy, basically. But really, we try as much as possible to ensure that our meals are cooked thoroughly. Okay, I think it's hot now. Okay. So remember, you can also put in your onions, your pepper, your tomatoes, just the way you like it. That works as well, okay? All right. So, now this looks yummy, doesn't it?
Definitely.
It's not even cooked yet. I love colors. And you know, sometimes some dishes don't even require extra colors.
Yeah, definitely.
Just this white, yellowish thing, and then, of course, the fish. It just makes you hungry already.
Yeah.
And I can feel it rumble in my tummy.
Almost
Do we
done.
have to wait till the end of the show for breakfast? I'm wondering. Well, that looks amazing. Okay, so now, you know, these days, people are experimenting a lot with food.
Yeah.
And so one of those experimentation for me has to do with maybe ditching bread, for example, and using something else like maybe some kind of vegetables for wraps like the Koreans do. Do you think that would work for this?
It could work, but I feel a lot of people in this country do not like vegetables. That is what I've actually gathered over time. There was a time I made club sandwich for someone, and the person was like, "What's all this? I don't like eating raw tomatoes."
Yeah, take out the vegetables.
And you know, basically, the Asian people, most especially, they like eating all these things, all these grains and stuff. But we do not like it at this part of the world, which is one of the things why it's quite difficult to recommend a twist of food for most people in this country.
They just want it the way they want it.
They want it, exactly.
Well, me, I like the twist of food because I'm very, very, very adventurous when it comes to food. So I guess it's a case of to each his own. We'll finish up with the cooking and keep our fingers crossed as we await our guests at the end of the show. Right now, however, we've reached the top of the hour. You're watching Wake Up Nigeria. Just stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to the second lap of Wake Up Nigeria. It's been 1 hour. We've had quite a lot to do in the first hour, and it's time now for the second hour. Welcome to the show. If you are just joining us, well, the show is Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mike Messikeno, and we have a whole lot still in store for you in 45 minutes. You don't want to miss all of that. Now use the hashtag WakeUpMarjorie on TVC across social media platforms to be a part of the show. Use the hashtag WakeUpMarjorie on TVC for interaction and, of course, engagement. You can watch us via our app, also online. That's our website, tvcentertainment.tv/live stream, and also anywhere that you can catch us, and on YouTube, TVC Entertainment. That's the handle where you can check us out. Of course, there's been stuff happening in the kitchen. Mary, how far? What's been happening in the kitchen there? How far have we been doing there in the kitchen?
Let's come back. Let's come. Let's come.
Woo! Let's go.
All right, so the cooking process is ongoing. Of course, we are currently doing our fry bread because we're trying to make it as Nigerian as possible. So you keep your fingers for that. Now, there's going to be a surprise twist coming up. Remember, we fried the eggs basic like this, and I kept talking about pepper. So the chef was like, you know what, it looks like you like pepper. So we're going to add it. So keep your fingers crossed for the next batch because it's going to be yummy. Ooh.
So there's just something about warming up the bread that just makes it feel like it just came out of the oven.
This one is not warming. Me, I like it fried.
You like it crispy, yeah?
Fried.
Exactly.
As in,
Goodness.
oh my goodness. And guess what? With almost no oil. But just let it be dry. Let me be crunchy. Oh my goodness. That's the way
This
to
is
go.
premium now. You know how much this egg is?
In fact, and the sardine. That's why I said I should take it.
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Mike, breakfast. Is it on you this morning?
Why are you smiling like that, Mary?
I cannot smile in peace again.
Just eggs. When you are smiling, I can understand it. At least that one saying pomo is protein.
Wow.
So, Mike. If you see egg, that's extra protein.
How you do me like
For
this,
you,
huh?
Mary, I'm not understanding.
Oh my God, pomo is protein. Mike,
I can understand when it
It's
comes to
protein. Right now, it is standing in for the protein.
All right. Okay, let's we'll have kick off the second lap, of course, with a look at games that happen across the weekend in the world of football. Of course, it's a beautiful game, Nations League qualifiers, and then, of course, a major update on the Super Eagles situation in Libya. It's really quite ugly, I must say. And then we've got King Cruz, who is David Adeleye Oluwatomiwa, an emerging voice in Nigeria's evolving music scene. He'll be here to perform this morning. The song is Aye. And then we've got Oluwatobi Ali, a powerhouse in business and personal transformation, an international award-winning capacity development trainer, and a revolutionary speaker and Destiny Codes coach. He equips leaders to unlock their full potential with a track record of innovation and impact. Today on Motivation, war is business. I mean, business is war. Well, he will get to talk about that. And then we've got Dr. Oladipo Okolawole, an esteemed, distinguished infectious diseases expert and innovator. He specializes in infectious diseases caused by viruses and antimicrobial resistance. He is an international fellow of the Indian Council of Medical Research, African Union STRC, and an experienced science entrepreneur. He joins us on SME to talk about his company, Helix Biogen. All right, we'll just kick off straight up after this timeout with the beautiful game. All right, just before we go to Europe and talk about the matches that we have there. Let's kick off in Africa. Now, there are many things wrong with African football, as it were. That's talking about CAF and all the rest. You can't even access highlights, as in you watch a match, a qualifying match or something, and then you go to CAF website and you go to the major websites and you can't even see the highlights. There's a lot that is wrong with how Africans do whatever they do. And it's a problem. I mean, you already have the match. You recorded the match. The match was aired live. What is there? Normally, I mean, you would see us show you European highlights of matches that happened just, 10, 11 hours ago. But then you go to the African website and then you are seeing 5 months ago. And you're wondering, what does it take to do the right thing at the right time? Problem deal. And then still talking about how things are run in Africa. Captain of the Super Eagles team, who, of course, arrived in Libya yesterday ahead of a 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match against Libya. Captain William Troost-Ekong has just put out a statement. This is 7:42 a.m. It just came in about, let's see now, this is about 24 minutes ago. William Troost-Ekong just put up a post on X, and this is how it goes. 12+ hours in an abandoned airport in Libya after our plane was diverted whilst descending. Libyan government rescinded our approved landing in Benghazi with no reason. They've locked the airport gates and left us without phone connection, food or drink, all to play mind games. I've experienced stuff before playing away in Africa, but this is disgraceful behavior. Even the Tunisian pilot, who thankfully managed to navigate the last-minute change to an airport not fit for a plane to land, had never seen something like this before. Okay, yeah, they showed the ladies. I think they're still getting ready there. You guys should focus on that food. Now, upon arrival, he tried to find a nearby airport to rest, which is cruel to be denied at every hotel again. Under government instruction, he could sleep there, but no Nigerian crew members allowed to sleep. They have returned to now sleep on the plane, which is packed up. Now, he goes on to say, at this point, we have called for our Nigerian government to intervene and rescue us. As the captain, together with the team, we have decided that we will not play this game. CAF should look at the report and what is happening here. Even if they decide to allow this kind of behavior, let them have the point. We will not accept to travel anywhere by road here, even with security. It's not safe. We can only imagine what the hotel, our food will be given to us if we continued. We respect ourselves and respect our opponents when they are guests in Nigeria. Mistakes happen, but these things on purpose have nothing to do with international football. Yeah, so the captain has stated that the team is not going to play the match. And I think they didn't fear. See what we don't carry ourselves do, man. Nigeria, like Libya. With all due respect to them, if they had respect and fear for us, they wouldn't do that sort of rubbish. But I guess it's how we've comported ourselves, how we've done, how far we've fallen to the point where they would treat our national team that way. They locked them in the airport, did not allow them to go. There's been no food, no water. But then let's be really serious. Let's look at it this way. This is not the first time that Libya and North Africans bring up this kind of, seemingly underhand tactics when they want to win matches. How can we go there and we not carry our food and our water? If the US was going to any place, they would carry what they need. Contingency plans, how can we not go to Libya? We went in, it's a charter flight. The flight can carry food. You carry your food and water that you drink all through the 3 days. It's common sense. So even we ourselves, the NFF, they are in carrying out their duties. They are incompetent, inept. The ineptitude is mind-boggling. You know these kind of things. Carry our food and our own water. What to carry it? With the plane, carry food and water. So that now these guys are not going to stay there. Now they're talking about rescuing. And then we have to find a way to carry them and all of that. So it's sad how we are being treated. It's sad how we are even planning ourselves, how we don't even rate ourselves, how we don't even plan well, contingency plans. It's all disgusting and disappointing, appalling from all sides. From the Libyan authorities and then also from our NFF, who knew something like this could happen. They had spoken that they were going to treat us badly or treat the national team badly. So contingency plans should have been made with the most easiest one, food and water. Quite sad, but that is where we are as a nation and as a continent. All right, let's move over to much saner climes. In Europe, then a number of matches happening. England, of course, were up against Finland. After losing to Greece, of course, who dedicated that victory to Baldock, their defender, who passed on at the age of 31. Our condolences out there. But England were up against Finland. That was, after that particular match against Greece, they had to win this one. Let's take a look at the highlights of England up against Finland. Portugal also were scored goal. All right, so yeah, England of course started that match with Harry Kane was back into the team. Looking at the changes, Anthony Gordon left the team, Phil Foden was not there, and Bukayo Saka. Those were the three members of a team that lost against Greece, who were not in this team against England. In their place, it was Harry Kane, Jack Grealish. Who was the third person? I think, yeah, that was Gomez. Yes, that was Andre Gomez. Gomez came in. So it looked a more disciplined side. I mean, when I saw the lineup against Greece, I was expecting England to obliterate Greece. I mean, they were at home in Wembley, and I mean, Foden was there, Parma, Parma FC, Saka, all of them, Jude Bellingham, Rice. Oh, it was packed. They were going to, but you know, it was quite disappointing. And it goes on to...
Lovely ball in, missed by Kalman.
Oh, well, for the English national team, of course, we were able to pick up a 3-1 win in that particular match, and of course the points. But Greece are still on top of the table because they were able to defeat Ireland. It was a 2-0 win for Greece up against Ireland. They are on top of that particular group, while England, of course, are in second place. Portugal also, you know, had a match, of course, talking about the Nations League, and of course Cristiano Ronaldo, a landmark goal as it is. I think it's now 906. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, of course, still on the UEFA Nations League. All right, well, that's it on the beautiful game. We will, of course, give you updates on what is happening with the Nigerian, with the Super Eagles. The match is supposed to be tomorrow. Now, Captain William Trusekong has said they will not play. I hope we don't play this match. We need to send a message to CAF and whatever. Yes, look, we are where we are because of whatever. But I hope they keep to that particular statement by the captain and not play the match. We'll give you updates. Just stay glued to our station on different news bulletins. We'll give you the updates on what is happening with the Libyan authorities and the Super Eagles as the day goes by, even up until tomorrow. That's it on the beautiful game. We'll take a time out now. Stay with us. We'll be back with motivation.
Wake up in the morning, you wanna start your day, start with Kellogg's,
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jammies. So
by 280 or 320. I suppose don't be one
At this point, I contest my jammies.
I want to close the show. I can go. I can. That's all we can take. Ejek can close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat.
Welcome back. Now we have a motivation segment about to begin that, in fact, I've been looking forward to. Why? Not just because we have our guest, Toby Ali, here, but because this is a topic that has been a discussion for decades. Business is war. Business is war. And if you think about how war happens, what leads to it, and how it is either, in quote, won or lost, you'll understand what we're talking about. Toby Ali is a powerhouse in business and personal transformation. He's an international award-winning capacity development trainer and a revolutionary speaker. He is also, he's been equipping leaders to unlock their full potential with a track record of innovation and impact. Today, as I said already, we're talking about the fact that business is war. It's great to have you back in the studio today.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so when people think of war, they think of destruction. They think of loud voices, opposing sides. They think of enemies. And when we like to think of business, we like to think of prosperity. We like to think of money, growth, private jets, exactly. So how does this even correlate? Where does the line begin to fade?
Okay, so it's interesting to note that one of the most common buzzwords that is used in business is strategy. And strategy is gotten from the Greek word that means strategy, which actually means the art of war of the general. So in essence, a lot of the concepts that we have in business is actually gotten from war. And whether you like it or not, there's a kind of mentality you must have that if you don't even understand that business itself involves similar tactics and ideologies of war, then you just go into business thinking all will be rosy, and at the end of the day, you become a casualty. So it's important for people to understand, and some of those concepts about war, which you must have in business, is what we want to be sharing this morning.
So, okay, so strategies for war. You think of the general who has his troops, has, you know, placed them in strategic places.
Exactly.
Knows when he wants to strike, when to pull back.
Exactly.
How do we begin when it comes to adding those kind of strategies into our business?
So the first thing we need to understand is accept that business is war.
Okay.
There's a kind of mentality you must have in business. There's this guy I love, Sun Tzu. He's one of the, he's one of the greatest generals in war. Art of War is a book, any business person should read. And he says something. He says that a victorious warrior wins before battle, but a defeated warrior goes into battle hoping to win. Wow. So what that means is that the first thing you need in business is there is a sense of mentality you must have in business that will be like your greatest arsenal. For instance, if you watch all these our old Nigerian Hollywood Yoruba movies, you will notice that there is something that is the first thing you see in a warrior. You see a helmet. That helmet is a kind of mindset that you must have. So for instance, one of the first fundamental mindsets you must have in business is that life and the market is never against you. It is always for you. So if you don't get into business with that understanding, if you always think that anytime anything is going wrong, there is something always fighting you, you have already lost even before you entered. Another important mentality to have is this. So you would have seen the stories, especially if you are a Christian, you'd have heard the stories about, David and Goliath. You'd have heard the stories about the spies. So let me even start with the spies. You see, there were 12 guys who went to a particular place. So picture that promised land as your market share in business. Maybe it's in telecommunications. Maybe it's in OEMs or whatever it is. Maybe it's in investment, right? And they saw giants. They said it was a land flowing with milk and honey, and they saw giants. Some people saw giants and said, we are not able to win. Some people saw it and saw it as an opportunity. Now, the best mindset to have is the land must really be flowing with milk and honey for it to be able to feed and breed giants. So it means that land has enough space for me to be able to make whatever I want to make. So if you are in an industry that you find yourself where you see there are big giants in that industry, the first mentality you need to have is that the fact that that industry could create those giants, it means there's enough room for me. So if you enter that industry with, oh, these ones are too big, I can't win, even before you have started the business, you have already failed. So it's a very strong mentality that you must have in business, because the truth is, you are going to fight. You are going to fight for market share. You are going to fight for customers.
Case in point now, there are 2 giant cola brands that are known to sell best in traffic. And then suddenly, there was this other cola brand that just came with a bigger size bottle and somehow took about 30% of the market share from both of them.
Definitely.
For some reason, they just didn't feel intimidated by the Goliath, so to speak. So, but nobody ever saw them coming. Because they look like a small David, so to speak.
Exactly.
If you're using that particular analogy.
Exactly. So let's even touch on that.
Yes.
We could use this analogy. So David saw Goliath, right?
Yes.
Now, one of the things people don't realize is that the bigger the giant, the bigger the weakness. Where was the weakness? The head. Right? Everywhere was covered, but the head was not covered, because there is something about giants, there's something about people in market share. You also notice that Goliath was a bit sluggish.
Yes.
So one of the things that you must do if you enter an industry where you're trying to fight for market share and they are giants is that one of the biggest weaknesses giants have is speed in adaptability. They don't have speed. So like that guy, like the brand you just mentioned, without mentioning their name, they saw that, oh, let's quickly do something different before these guys decide, because, I mean, there are boards, there are meetings. Before they do all that one, you have entered the market, you have taken the market share before you know it, because there is also a theory in business that the opportunity to defeat the enemy will always be provided by the enemy itself.
Interesting.
So when you look at the unique selling proposition, or you can find out the pain points of the customers of your competitors who are giants, and quickly answer those, those pain points, you are going to win.
So there have been so many different cases like that from some of the bigger brands. There's a particular milk brand that always had a can, for instance.
Yes.
And they were canned milk for a very long time.
And sachet is
and
for
eventually the sachet market took over.
Very true.
And gave a particular key brand most of the market share.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying that it's a sustainable strategy, because eventually everybody wised up. But at that point, they were able to take over the market.
True.
So now, what about sustainability? How do you, yes, you've been able to penetrate the market, but what is the next strategy to keep control?
So it's just like in battle, right? You don't have to always be on the offensive. You also have to be on the defensive. So the idea is that, okay, now that you've gotten market share, what are you going to do? Ensure that you give your customers the best service. Ensure that you also are aware of what your competitors are doing, and you can do it better. Because there's also a saying by, that wise guy. He said, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not worry about the outcome of 1,000 battles. You also have to keep evolving. If we even go back to, what we shared last week about FAIL, the acronym, you have to adapt, you have to innovate. So, and most importantly, the most important people in the marketplace are your customers. So as long as you are serving them well and you are meeting their needs, no matter how big the giants are roaring, they will always be loyal to you.
It's so interesting that we've been using a lot of analogies from historical books.
Yes.
The Jews are known to be some of the biggest, strongest business owners internationally. And of course, they have gone through quite a few wars.
A lot.
And won through different strategies.
And they're still fighting now.
They're still fighting till now. So it goes to show that the battle really doesn't end. It just continues.
So let me even tell you something interesting I found out about the Jews. I got this quote, though I've added my own, right? So in that quote, it was like that. There was a news that there was 3 days the whole world is going to be submerged by water.
Okay.
So a Hindu priest was like, oh, prepare for the next incarnation. Okay. Now I added this, that a Mountain of Fire pastor said, let us bind every marine spirit, right? Okay. A Pentecostal pastor was like, oh, let's have a tongues meeting.
Okay.
But guess what the Jewish rabbi said? He said, we have 3 days to learn how to live underwater.
Wow.
That's a mentality.
Interesting.
That's a mentality. You see, one of the things beyond the fact that people say, oh, God is with these people, there is a mentality you must have that you can't lose. Life is never against me. I must always find a way. That's an important mentality to have in business.
Thank you so much, Toby Ali, for coming to talk to us today. And of course, if you think of business as war, the strategies to win wars might just apply for making your business come out on top. Let's hear your thoughts on social media. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We, of course, have a performance about to begin. We have King Cruz with us, Adeleye David, and he is an emerging voice in Nigeria's evolving music scene, and his music transcends genres. He's been blending the emotional depth of soul, cultural richness of Afro soul, and the innovative beats of Afro fusion. He's here with us. Your song title is Nubia, yes?
Yes.
Beautiful Nubia.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Are you ready to perform?
Yes, I am.
All right, then. Take it away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, I know. Oni que mucho que mi wapi, como dori de lori aquí todo loco. You know, started from the other side, no the better side. Slowly walk my way until the top. Damn, I've seen the darker times, now seen the brighter light. I'm grateful for the nights I did it slow. La do follow que she be like loti pere, body pele I did it. More, but I don't see many things to fit. So they want thing from me.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of your view are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
The time has come to experience the power of faith, music, and praise. This is the Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m., tune in to catch the pulse-pounding beats and soul-stirring melodies that will elevate your faith and leave a lasting impact on your heart. The Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m. exclusively on Max FM, where we count down the best 20 urban gospel hits from around the world. Get your praise on. It's downright time to speak with the Gen Z perspective.
Hey, chick for me this and they were like, this is Sharma,
Saying it not the way they want it.
Outrightly, I don't think I would budget more than 25K for a first date.
The Generation Z are ranting.
I'm 3 hours, 2 minutes after the
Minus 1 year, please.
Don't show me. I don't want to.
That's why they'll keep it.
Gen Z. Express yourself.
How long will it take for you to kiss then, even if it's not sexual intercourse?
The conversation just got Gen Z'd.
Do it now. Do it to me. Do it. Do it.
Time for the SME conversation this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. For that, we have Dr. Oladipo Kolawole. He is an esteemed, distinguished infectious diseases expert and innovator. He specializes in infectious diseases caused by viruses and antimicrobial resistance. Now, he is an international fellow of the Indian Council of Medical Research, African Union, STRC, and an experienced science entrepreneur. Today, we'll be having a conversation about his company, Helix Biogen. Great to have you in the studio with us.
Nice having me around this morning. It's a pleasure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now people talk about setting up businesses, and as Nigerians, we think of so many things.
Okay.
However, few people actually do focus on infectious diseases. Yeah. Tell us more about Helix Biogen.
Well, from my experience and what I've done so far, I think during the course of my master's degree and PhD, I felt that there is an aspect of entrepreneurship in science. And Anka will marry that. And so far, we have a lot of students graduating from school and still waiting for collar job before they get it. So I think we need to lead in that area, in that space. And identifying the gap in the market, based on the experience I had working from Lautech till I moved down to Adeleke University as a lecturer, I discovered that there are some gaps that need to be filled that can make our students more employable. So that's why I have that organization, which is Helix Biogen Institute. So what we do majorly, we upskill students.
You upskill students? Okay.
So that all those skills that you couldn't get during your training, you can get, which make them to be more employable in the market, and also give students the opportunity to get scholarship outside the country. Then the major icing on the cake for what we're doing is that we venture into what we call translational research.
Translational research.
A research that leads to products, which is from bench to bed. And we have three major things we're doing. We are trying to work in the vaccine design and development, point of care diagnostic test kit, and we are trying to develop some other biologics. In 2019, we were able to develop a candidate vaccine for COVID-19, which was recognized and captured by WHO. And that time, our candidate vaccine was only the one that made it to the list, except for that of Nigeria and that of Egypt. So those are the things that we're doing. So we're still growing, and we're still doing more about what we are doing. And we put out our publications based on the findings that we have. And we have a lot of collaborators that we're working together.
Now, your business, would you say it's capital intensive, or it has more to do with knowledge? Because I know quite well that science is capital intensive. There's a lot of research, and researchers are not cheap.
Yeah.
There's also a lot that is involved. So would you say it's capital intensive to begin your business?
I think it's semi-capital intensive because what I leverage on data. I leverage on what is called genomics. I leverage on what is called bioinformatics. So when we started from dry lab. Now we have moved to wet lab. We have some other equipment we are moving with, and we are still working on some other certifications to make us work at international par with some others. So, but what we do, I just believe that when I have the idea, I should move ahead with it. Although on the course of this 5 years journey, we have been able to attract an investor from Spain. None of it from Africa, from Spain, based on the work we are doing on NTDs, that is neglected tropical diseases. We are trying to develop what we call point of care diagnostic test kit. That's like a test strip that is used for pregnancy. Because we are looking at our context in Africa, that if I have to diagnose people in the village, there's no electricity, There is no internet, then personnel. So can I develop something that is small, that a non-medical personnel can quickly use to diagnose, like pregnancy test kits? You don't need to go to school to know that it's positive. So that when we screen that out, we can move on. So that is the stage where we are. Though we have some services that we render based on our business plan that we're using to make us being effective and sustainable. So we train students, and students pay us a token for the training. And I've trained beyond Nigeria because we have online. And most of our students that we have trained are currently in US, UK, that have gotten scholarship based on the skill they have acquired.
Now, I'm glad you're mentioning your clientele, because there's the empowerment part, that's the training.
Exactly.
But then there's also the diseases parts, like you mentioned. You mentioned the Spanish company.
Anesvad Foundation.
Yes, investing. Who are your clientele?
Now, most of our clients are students, researchers, and currently now we are working with some biopharmaceutical industries that we develop biomarker, because the space is capital intensive. But we have to take a step one after the other. So what we do now, we develop biomarkers and we give them to go ahead with it. I can tell you that most of some pathogen that could be of pandemic potential in the future, my team has started working on it just for us to develop the candidate vaccine and get a partner that can pick it up from there, because that is a very huge capital. But we don't need to wait till you have the money before you start doing something. And that is why we have started doing that. And we train students too in that regard, so that Nigeria, we have that capacity in case in future something happen, we can leverage our weaknesses, our strength that we have acquired during the process on any new thing that is emerging in the future.
Now, from all the conversation, from this conversation, I can tell that you've been pouring in a lot into this, and I'm really wondering, how rewarding has it been? Besides the reward of, yes, you're able to, create something that could save lives, financial reward, would you say is rewarding? Because you seem to be the one pouring a lot into it.
Yeah, I think we have services we are rendering that we analyze for
So the
people.
services are what you're using to support the business.
Exactly.
Right.
Because currently now we have 25 staff working at the institute.
Wow, and they have to be paid.
And they have to be paid.
Yes.
And the running cost is there. So we keep running and running it based on the business model we're using. But we keep expanding as times move on. Although we are still applying for grants, some of the time we are still speaking with some other investors to see how we can move forward and move ahead. Though the landscape is very trickish because you are not sure if what you are investing in you get into the market. But if it hit the market, you have it all. And that is what we're doing.
So at the moment, you're still hoping that something you do will hit the market. Or has anything you've done hit the market yet?
Nothing yet, because in biologics, it has a process.
Yeah.
You have to go to preclinical trial, go to clinical trial before you get into the market. And you have to go through all the certifications, regulatory body certifying you before you move into it. But the most important thing we are doing is that we are developing biomarkers for big pharmaceutical companies rather, so that they can take it up from there and move on. Pending the time, we also have the financial strength in doing what they are doing.
Okay, so now that takes me to the issue of partnering. Now, you've mentioned the fact, again, I would make reference to the Spanish company. But then locally, has there been no support from the government?
Well, for now, I have not really explored it for now, because the way we work, it's very, very trickish. And when I mean trickish, it means that majority of people don't invest in things like this. They're always scared. But for us, we were encouraged when Anesvad Foundation came in to support us. And at that time, it was called for West Africa. And we have 2 companies from Nigeria, which we were one of them that we supported. And even now, on that vaccine I'm talking about, we have Unizima that have signed MOU with us. And they also have signed MOU with federal government, Ministry of Health. But we have been working together. I have some other pharmaceutical industry from US again that we've been working together on some biomarker. But one thing I'm very sure.
You know, I know you have a lot to share with us regarding this. And I must say that what you do is very impressive. I dare say, it is something that you obviously are passionate about. And so I commend you for it, and I really hope it turns out to be rewarding eventually, because I can see you've invested a lot into this, financially, emotionally, and so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
It's been quite an interesting conversation.
Nice.
And so your reward is not going to be in heaven alone. On Wake Up Nigeria this morning, we're going to give you a bit of reward by feeding you breakfast. I hope you came empty. All right, so we head straight to the kitchen now for breakfast.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Do join me.
Yeah.
All right, so as it is, breakfast is ready, and of course it's by Chef Oblak. Yeah. Great to have you in the studio with us this morning, and it's time for you to dig in. Give us your feedback. So there are 2 types of eggs in there. So you have breakfast. The sardine egg and then the peppered egg. So if you're the type who likes spicy eggs, the one on the right, my right, that is for you. And if you're the type who just likes your sardine eggs, you know, tasty like that, you can go for the other one. So dig in. Let's have your feedback.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's try to do something.
Okay. Let me see which one you go for. I just
of course, everyone goes for the
sardines. Like
yeah.
Everyone goes for it.
Because the other one doesn't have sardines. Woo. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
there you go.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Perfect.
Proper Nigerian man, you said.
This is highly delicious.
All right.
Nice. At least my taste board were very sensitive to that. I was able to pick it up.
Fantastic.
Nice.
You did a very nice job.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Edith. Thank you so much, Chef Oblak.
Yeah.
Thank you for breakfast.
All right, that's been the show for today. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.